It's the 27th of April, 2023, and you're in the backyard with Colorado tulips. Look at this little beauty right here. This is a reticulated iris. I think it's called Pauline. It's pretty tiny. We've had snow and rain and a lot of it in the last week or so. And these back pots here that I thought were completely dead, that I had rotted out over the winter, are not completely dead. So here's the one that's in like a fabric bag that I had saved from last year. There's zero happening inside of my winter sowing. There are those darn dogs again. And then this is what we've got here in the raised bed. The hyacinths are up everywhere. Some of them are not blooming yet, but they're getting there. We've got what's clearly some daffodils. We've got tulips. Look at this. You can see some of the tulip buds are coming up. I just planted a little bit of larkspur here and then forget-me-nots there, just in a straight row. I'm going to see what they do. Here it is, our last frost could be Mother's Day. It could be the end of May. So yeah, just putting them out and seeing what happens. You can see here that more things are starting to come up. Some are just earlier than others, and strangely, these here I believe are going to be allium coming up from the year before. They were some of the first up. So let's see. So yeah, last year I had just put some tulips kind of over here and some allium over there. But yeah, they're kind of all starting to come up. Last time I was out here, I checked under here, thought that maybe everything was dead, but no, everything was planted somewhat deep. There are, I think, iris bulbs under there, and just various good things. We'll see what comes up, but there was definitely life under here. These pots also, I thought maybe had just totally died, but they're just, as the spring goes on and they're getting some more moisture, we're just seeing things happen. But yeah, look at that. And then of course, these were the very first tulips that I had planted. And then I threw a couple of extras in here last fall, just because I had run out of spots to put bulbs. So I did throw in a couple of extras, but yeah, you can see here, these are actually the first tulip color in the backyard. They're looking kind of orangish at this point. So, and as I recall, these ones, most of these were probably more pink. So we'll see what those are. These might even be ballerinas. I don't know exactly, but yeah, you can see how they have split and are just growing and growing more year over year. I need to remember that maybe this year I actually divide them and put them in their own spots. All right, so you can see where I had planted up to. Lots of tulips. These are mostly going to be a purple mix, but there's also several just planted in little blocks of miscellaneous beautiful tulips that I was wanting to try so much. You can see these ones here are going to have the variegated, or not variegated, the mottled foliage. Get that, we'll see what those ones are. There's a couple of daffodils, I think, coming up over there. We've got some hyacinths here. These ones might be the general Kohler ones. I think I'd gotten 5 of them, a really dark blue, and I think double. So yeah, that's what they're looking like. Here, let's go in. Yep, that's looking like these are going to be the general Kohler ones, Kohler. And more tulips. I think most of these here where you can see the variegated foliage, I had thought might end up being pink all the way, but they seem to be kind of maturing more out towards white. Certainly over here, these ones that had started pink, these are definitely getting more white over time. And I think really oftentimes the pink color of tulips, just as they're coming out of the ground, is it's just because they haven't gotten the chlorophyll activated yet. But yeah, that's a really good look there, where you can just see kind of right there, that one is definitely coming out white in real life. but these ones here are still kind of pink. The yellow hyacinths from last year all coming back. I have the Lady Jane botanical tulips that kind of look like these wild little mixes. Those are from last year. But then I had also popped in some additional bulbs. I think I maybe have the lilac Bakeri, and I definitely had put in more crocuses, which are done at this point. The lilac is starting to bud out very nicely. Look, here's just a hyacinth or two that I had thrown in the ground. You can see some daffodils coming up. Some of these will be from last year. I'm really hoping that I get a that I'm getting a couple of those acropolis back. I still need to clean up my rose bushes. They did awesome for me last year. And you can see in this main bed that we've got tulips coming up. These here are probably 10 inches at this point, but you know, the tips of their leaves. And we're gonna see a bunch of pinks in this neck of the woods. Just loads and loads of bulbs are, lost my shoe. Loads and loads of bulbs are coming up, and it's just awesome. So I don't know whether all these white ones that are coming up, oh, there are still a couple of crocuses going. I don't know whether these white ones, and these ones actually may even be apricot colored ones, maybe apricot impressions, because I think I got a few of those. But I don't know whether they're coming up later because these guys were all in the ground from the year before, so they had established root systems. These ones, don't know if they just are generally later or if they're only a bit later because of the variety, but I'm suspecting that since I have at least four new varieties here and all of these were from last year, it just seems very unlikely that all 4 of these varieties, the Carnegie, the White Ideal, the Apricot Impression, and the General Kohler over there, that they all happen to be later than these yellow ones. So I'm just guessing it's because of the root systems. I got more daffodils and tulips in the ground here. I believe that most of these tulips in there are going to be exotic emperor. Pretty sure about that. And then you can see there's daffodils popped in there as well. Yeah, I mean, just look at this. It can be hard to tell from farther away, but you can see that the buds are just coming, right? And they're not huge buds. They'll get bigger, but or maybe they won't, and that's fine too. Yeah, I think these ones are going to be daffodils coming up. Look at that. And they are probably, the blooms are maybe, the tip of the blooms here are maybe 6 inches or so, and then the leaves are higher. But yeah, look at this. A lot of these are going to be pink impression. In the back, this is kind of exciting. These are perennial salvias that I put in last year or the year before, I think, and they are coming back, which I wasn't expecting, especially since I had like really dug them up and moved them around to get tulips in the ground. These ones, I think these ones are going to be like a dark red, and I thought I put 3 varieties back here at least. Vincent van Gogh, and then a couple of other like kind of dark colors, like dark reds, dark kind of burgundies, but so far it looks like 1 variety is coming up. That could be because this is a wet, shady area back here. The other bulbs might not have made it, or they could just be late. But yeah, you can see all these. These are perennial salvias coming back. So nice. And then there's something over there. What would really be hilarious is if it's something that I actually planted there, because I've tried to plant things here over the years and it just has not worked. Let's see. Oh yeah, these are exotic emperors coming out. I am 99% sure. And then daffs, and of course, you know, various other bulbs that I had popped into the ground. But yeah, oh, this gives you a really nice look. Those are going to be the pink impressions. The crabapple has survived all of the snows and big winds that have come at it. In fact, just here in the last couple of days, because I sprayed this with the apple scab treatment just a couple of days ago, and there were no buds opening. But yeah, look at that. We got buds coming. They look more pink now, but they will, as I recall, this is one that is a white one. So I think it may just mature more to white. But yeah, got all the apple scab treatment on it twice now. May try to do a third one. But yeah, this one was from Lowe's, I believe. It's just going really well. All of that. Yeah, so still a couple of little species crocus. It's definitely much later here in the backyard. It doesn't get as much sun, and it's much more wet and cold. Some new daffodils. Some of these are coming back from the year before. Here between the rose bush and the burning bush here, and then that is the willow. I'm always amazed by this one here. Came to the same exact place that we bought them. They're the same age. They were the same size to start. This one was in the front yard, and I moved it to the backyard just last year. This one I put just directly in the backyard, and I have cut it back no less than 5 or 6 times at this point, because it gets massive. It's a dappled willow. So yeah, so one that's been here for a while, and then this one, yeah, it was just dying up front, but the willows seem to like it back here. Junipers, not so much. Black Tower elderberry, with some tulips having split from last year, and some just being new ones that I popped in the ground. There were also snapdragons around here that had come back the second year. I don't see them coming back this year, because that would very much surprise me too, because they don't live all that long. But I did get some really nice snapdragons there, little tiny petite, kind of peachy pink colors. And then this is the raised bed, almost exclusively second year. All the hyacinths have come back. The crocuses here in the front have already come and gone. You can see their little foliage. These, yeah, I gotta get myself more of these Muscari latifolia. I just like the foliage on them. You know, the blooms look very similar to a Muscari armeniacum, you know, just your regular grape hyacinth. But these ones, yeah, I just really like them. You can see more tulips coming up. I mean, these ones, it definitely looks like they have, like some have split, and they're smaller, but that could just be because it's still early in the year. Yeah, you can see little buds are coming through. It's just awesome. These ones are going to be Tahiti daffodils. Pretty sure these ones in the back are going to be pink impressions. I mean, you can see too that some of them have come back just as strong with multiplication. Other ones, like whatever, I'll have to look back at my notes, but the second row here, you know, has come up somewhat, but much more spotty than these pink impressions. I think this row may have been apricona there, possibly. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, the hyacinths have all come back. I think they like it here. Yeah, some daffodils have, some may just be later too. And then in the back here is my little allium, my little allium farm, from having dropped a bunch of seeds back here as I was letting a few dry. So I may move some of these around a bit, just to get alliums going. They're kind of fun. But yeah, and then here's the view from this edge of the garden. It's blooming. Thanks for joining me. If this is my nephew Kyle, I love you a lot, hun.